go shoot another one in the face. It is March the 27th, and we're just south of Orlando. We're heading down to Okeechobee, Florida, and we're gonna go and do an Osceola hunt with Jeff Buds. Go shoot a turkey in the face. He didn't fly.
What's going on, brother?
What's up? You need some help loading stuff?
No, I'll load this stuff up here and we'll just get in.
All this is just throw it out of the way. It actually hasn't been a bad drive. It's I have not driven down here since I was playing baseball in Winter League.
Oh, really?
I drove back and forth to Clearwater a few times. Winter ball. That was like 20 years ago. I've flown down here a lot. No, that's a lie. I just lied on camera. I did. I came down here and Osceola hunted, but I didn't. I guess it wasn't totally a lie because I didn't drive. I rode. It is March the 27th, and we're just south of Orlando. We're heading down to Okeechobee, Florida, and we're gonna go and do an Osceola hunt with Jeff Buds. Brian with 4Play Custom Turkey Calls contacted me a couple weeks ago, asked if we wanted to come on an Osceola hunt, try out some of his products, and hunt with his friend Jeff. So we got the invite, and Osceola hunts are kind of hard to come by, and I've never done one this late in the spring. I've been on Osceola hunts 3 times, and they were always earlier in March. So this is a little later in the spring season for Florida. From my experience, but from what I hear, the hunting's been really good. And talking to Jeff, they got a couple of properties set up for us to hunt that they've got birds on, and I'm expecting us to have a good couple of days. And when we're done here, we're gonna head back up north into Alabama, meet up with our friend Blair from the Rival TV, and do a couple of days of hunting in Alabama. So we're on a little SKRE spring turkey tour, and hopefully we can have a good time, have some good hunts, and get some great footage and show Caleb what it's all about to do a southern spring turkey hunt. So stay tuned. We're gonna have a good time. Driveway, and I just kept driving. I called him. I said, "Hey, there's a hog dead in the end of your driveway." He said, "How do you know that?" I said, "Because I just shot it." You're gonna need to go pick it up.
Yeah.
Thanks, little man. Hey, how are y'all?
I'm good, how are you?
How you doing, Jeff? Block.
Mark, nice to meet you.
Welcome. Caleb. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, buddy.
We got
And you met
the puppy.
Ben.
Situation than this because I had glassed birds on one side of this field, and it was late, and I'm like, they roosted right here in this little block of woods, and he goes, he said, my family's on this property, they've never roosted. I said, I know I didn't watch them fly, but I'm like, sure, they roosted in there. And he goes, they're gonna be on the other side of the field. You need to go in this road and start, because you're not gonna be able to get across the field. If you go over there and they're over here, you're gonna be messed up. And I'm like, I got it, but I'm just telling you, like, I feel like it was late enough. I don't think they got all the way back across. So I did what he said, and sure enough, I was on this side of there gobbling in that little like, not much bigger than this lodge, batch of trees, and I don't know why they were over there. And I was like, and he said the same thing, is they never roosted in there. They've never roosted in there. I was like, pretty sure they roosted in there tonight.
It's like when you asked me, you got a turkey vest? I was like, I've never even seen a turkey.
Well, I didn't know. I mean, gun number 1. It's the only gun we're taking. It's our first morning here in Florida. Hopefully our only morning for hunting here in Florida. If we can have some success on the first morning, that'd be great. But it's going to be a really pretty morning. We arrived in camp last night. We got the information on the properties we can hunt. And this morning we're going into a smaller farm. We're not going to have a lot of room there to move around, but from what it sounds like, there's a block of timber. I don't really call it timber in Florida. We just call it woods. But there's a block of that with some pasture around it. It's kind of a small tract, but a lot of really good habitat, a lot of big trees and big timber, lots of roost areas all around the property, and I don't think it gets much hunting pressure. So this place is kind of some pasture land with a small strip of timber running through it, and they're seeing a lot of birds on this place.
We've been sitting here since daylight, and we didn't hear any gobbles at daylight on the rooster or anything. And not long after daylight, we had a few hens come from the back of the pasture, and then 6 jakes showed up, and they've been basically patrolling this pasture all morning. And we finally, about 9 o'clock, we had a gobbler pop out in the pasture straight across from us. He gobbled one time. I had been yelping, so we thought we had heard one far off back in there. And he showed up, and he hit the edge of the field. He gobbled one time. He was very decoy shy, and he started making his way kind of around us through the pasture, and the jakes came back and ran him off. And it's kind of my opinion that right now those 6 jakes are running this place, and I don't know that we can get a bird in here without them trying to run him out of the pasture as soon as he shows up. And I'm not sure they're going to come to a decoy, because I got a jake decoy out there, and he stood 75 yards over there and just looked. And he never spooked, as far as we go, but he's obviously been harassed by these jakes. So we got another piece of property down the road, and it's kind of mid-morning, so we're going to make our way over there and make a little round through there and see if we can find a bird, strike one, see one strutting in a pasture or something, and see if we can make a move. I just don't feel like we're going to be able to get a bird in here with these jakes around, so we'll make a move, see what happens.
What do you think of that, Locke?
Typical. Just typical. I can't figure out how to get across the fence.
I don't have anything for you. I just want to make you know.
We're hunting later in the season for that part of Florida, and the first couple of days our hunting was slow. There were a lot of jakes bunched up, and we had issues with jakes coming in and running off any toms in the area, and we hunted really slow and kind of sat, and we had a lot of wind to deal with and a lot of things going on that made the hunting pretty difficult. But there were obviously a lot of birds on property that we were hunting, and we just kind of had to be patient.
That's a hen. I can't see it. But that calling, that's a hen, not a jake. was very, very close to getting shot. I'd yelled right back to there, I probably would have shot him. Just knowing he wasn't gonna come any closer. Another day. Getting our butts kicked. Thus far.
There's a pot-bellied pig in the horse. It's the camp mascots right there.
Yeah. On the third day, we had one morning left to hunt, and we headed to a very large property that was a operating orange grove orchard, and we walked in a pretty good piece well before daylight to an area where Jeff had told us there was a bird that had been roosting on a tree line between two open pastures on this farm, and we got way in there deep early in the morning, and as it got daylight, that bird was either not there or he wasn't gobbling, and we had actually walked past birds that were gobbling along a tree line that we had walked in really early that morning, and so we had to make the decision to kind of abandon the area we had walked in to hunt and start making our way back up. One of Jeff's guides that was parked up on a main road kind of glassing had seen some birds, probably the bird that we heard gobbling. It had pitched down on the other side of a big canal and made their way into an old orange orchard that was actually diseased, and most of the trees in there were dead. And there were a couple of road systems that ran through that. And as we got back out and consulted with him, we made a plan to go into the orange orchard, use the rows as cover, and see if we could find these birds. We made our way down, and we did see a bird walking one of the middle roads, and we had a bird gobbling out in the orchard, and so we were really just stalking along, trying to get closer without being seen and kind of get in the middle of them and make a setup and see what we could make happen.
The other thing is, he's definitely watched him go in here, so he's in this grove somewhere. And the other thing is, at some point, we get down here and get on one of these long rows, stick a decoy out, and just start calling, see if he'll just come.
Felt like, given all of the surrounding area, we were hidden as we could be, and put our decoys out in the road, and we just started yelping. There was a irrigation canal running along that road that was deep, and it wasn't very wide, but it was deep. And if you've turkey hunted enough to know, when you're calling to a bird and he's answering and he's coming, anything like a ditch, a canal, a fence, even sometimes a dead log laying on the ground will hang a bird up, and they'll just stand there and strut. After a bit of calling, we had two birds that started answering us, and one showed up, and he was on the other side of that canal and strutting back and forth to the decoys. We had a little bit of a camera malfunction, and the shot was a little bit longer than I would want it to be, but with my gun set up with TSS, I was confident in the shot.
Kill him, look. That looks like a freaking snake pit.
Yep.
I'm not interested. Who'd you get? I guess we could.
Dude.
Well, you heard the one goblin back there behind him still. I don't know.
I'm sorry, as soon as he got to that spot there,
It stopped.
and that's when I was like, I'm gonna switch cameras.
I could hear you fiddling around back there.
And that's when I switched over. As soon as I switched over to here, I was like, kill him. I could still see him, so, but is he just not zoomed in?
But you got him coming up, zoomed in.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the kill shot, he's just zoomed out of
Well,
it.
that'll just make the story better.
Dude.
That's a pretty Osceola.
Dude.
I don't know how far that is.
I don't either.
I don't usually shoot turkeys that far, but after yesterday, I didn't want to take another chance.
Right on, dude.
Yep, man.
Freaking shot, man. That was a poke.
He didn't flop. That's what that TSS does. He was straight across from the decoy, strutting back and forth. And I finally was like, he's not going to cross the ditch. Like, I know he's not going to cross the ditch.
So why did you shoot the Jake?
Huh?
Why'd you shoot
Yeah,
the Jake?
I didn't shoot the Jake. I know that. And I got video evidence to prove it.
Shot a tree hanger.
Is it a good one? I thought he looked like a pretty good bird. Holy shee whiz. Look at that. What a stud, man. Yeah, the average beard. Osceola.
2 knuckles.
Look at them spurs, man.
Look how heavy he is too. That's a heavy bird.
Yeah, this will be my second Osceola, and I've got an Eastern mounted that has one spur like that, and the other one was broke off, and it's a lot bigger bird, you know. But as far as spurs go, that's probably the biggest spurred bird I've ever killed, at least to have both of them. Sweet. Well, we got our Osceola. This is bird 1 of SKRE Turkey Tour 2025. About to load up and head to Alabama. Let's go shoot another one in the face.
That's a big nope rope.
So, overall, the hunt was a real success. You know, we killed a really nice Osceola, really big hooks. But the biggest success of the trip is that we hunted for 2.5 days. And we didn't see a snake until just now, driving out to go back to camp and pack up to head out. So 2.5 days in the Florida swamp, no snake encounters, and a big Osceola. It's a win.